is some dedication.
We got the beat. Dude, I could do like my own little. You don't want that.
Keep the day job.
Sorry.
We'll have you go outside too to practice.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll send you outside.
I wouldn't mind it today. Just give me
Yeah.
a few hours. Let the sun come up. Let the sun start shining through.
And talk about a place that guy found. I mean, that is just a stunning area to play your drums.
I'm sure I haven't been up 55 this fall, but I'm sure those colors are spectacular.
Right.
I mean, speaking of the colors, I mean, we have so many spots right in town that we are spoiled with. This year has been fantastic.
Sure has
Kelsey, do you want to explain this?
Sure. Every year I drive down. You can see me driving. I drive down
Both
Harrison
hands on the
Boulevard.
wheel, by the way.
I make sure to take a trip down Harrison because it is just so beautiful. So I threw my phone up on the dashboard there and just drove, and check this out. I mean, it's beautiful. So if you're in the area, or even if you're not, just take you and your kids and take a drive because it is so worth it.
Yeah, it's not just Harrison Boulevard. I mean, I've driven down there several times in the last week, and just every time it's like you have to stay so focused on the road, but it's hard not to get distracted. That whole north end is just beautiful, and of course there are so many other spots here in the valley that have those scenes that look like that. Just the wide array of colors. It's spectacular out there right now. A very special time. Technically, you look at this foliage map, and we should kind of have already seen the peak of our fall colors in mid-October here in southwestern Idaho, but I'd make the argument that even into this point in the year, we've still got some pretty special scenes out there. So get out, go for a nice walk down your favorite section of street or the river. Everything looking pretty good out there. Idaho certainly showing off for us as we head in toward Halloween weekend. By the way, we are continuing that countdown to Halloween. Just 4 days away now. It's around the corner. Before you know it, we're going to be done with October. Flip the calendar over to November. Talking about this little guy, Mr. Turkey. Thanksgiving, 27 days away. And whether you like it or not, we're less than 60 days away from Christmas. So less than 2 months. Maybe it's time to start thinking about shopping, but not winter weather yet, right? We will hold that off for as long as possible. Jetstream forecast showing a nice pattern moving in for the weekend. High pressure kind of ridge is just stationed right here, parked down off the coastline. It's going to continue to shift east as we head into the weekend. That will mean things will stay dry and mild for us. It actually could get a little bit warmer as the core of this scoots a little bit closer to our neck of the woods. But beyond that, we do have some changes. You start to see those lines flattening out. That's a sign of the ridge breaking down early next week. We're going to get a cool down coming through, and we'll see the dry conditions continuing though because of where our air is coming from. But changes are inevitable. We will be back in the 50s where we belong this time of the year, so enjoy the above average temps while we've got them, right? Satellite and radar looking great this morning. Should wake up to sunshine and blue skies, so nothing to worry about on this Friday morning. We haven't seen really much patchy fog developing here in the valleys. That would be my only potential concern. So far things though are looking really good. Switching from the satellite radar to the futurecast, you really wouldn't even notice it because it's going to look exactly the same. We are talking about sunshine. You can bank on it really here for the next few days. A few clouds moving in, I'd say by sometime on Monday as we get that cool down, but no shower activity to speak of here in southern Idaho. We'll be watching our mountains for maybe just a slight chance of a couple of isolated showers. Highs today looking really good from, I'd say, about Idaho Falls and west. Salt Lake catching in on the 60s, but we're in the mid 70s in Reno, 90s in Northern California, 60s along the coastline, but it's as you come back east, getting into the areas Denver, parts of the nation's midsection, we're stuck in the 40s for those daytime highs. So cooler air is parked over here. We'll keep it there. Let's cash in on some of those 60s this weekend, right? Today's forecast, hour by hour, looking really good. Yes, it's going to start off cold, so grab the coat or a jacket, something to keep you warm early. By lunchtime, I'd say you might be able to start shedding layers, and then plan for low to mid 60s this afternoon. The sunshine icon stays consistent all the way through the day, and that makes for a fabulous Friday, if you ask me. Upper 60s out in Ontario, mid 60s for the rest of us, but even upper 50s to low 60s for many of our mountains this afternoon, and that just shows there is a little bit of a weekend version at play here, allowing our mountains to heat up, but we're staying just not quite as warm as we could be potentially here in the valleys. Mostly we'll just notice some hazy sunshine out of that. Nothing too spooky about the Halloween forecast, except maybe this guy's dancing. As we get into Tuesday of next week, we will see that cool down. Temps back in the mid 50s, which is where we actually belong for Halloween time, at this time of the year at least, but really nothing to worry about as far as trick-or-treating. That forecast looks good, 40s to low 50s for the temps. Mostly clear skies. We'll just see the cooler temps moving on in, and then they stick around for us beyond Tuesday of next week. Plan for 50s next week, but again, count on sunshine and 60s all the way through this weekend. Make the most of it. If you've been procrastinating on the pumpkin patch, picking those pumpkins, or maybe just raking up the leaves, you've got no excuses this weekend. It's going to be fabulous.